Good morning and welcome to Live with Joan. It's a beautiful morning here in Santa Clarita. We're preparing for more rain, but we have sunshine now. And I imagine that Leslie Williams will be on any minute. And we're just, we have a fun show planned. And I can't wait to share with you our guest, but let's wait till some people come on. Is anyone on?
Leslie Williams says hi.
I know. Hi, Leslie Williams. Okay. And then I'm sure Joyce Lee Leggett will be right behind her. We'll see.
Heidi Evans Ensley says hi.
Oh, Heidi. Ooh, that was good. You just snuck right in there.
Chris Wilson says good morning.
Good
Val
morning,
Smith
Chris.
says good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Mm-hmm. So, as you know, I think of coffee cups as an oracle, and today I have the Seattle cup, and you'll know why in a moment. So anyway, I do have a guest, and we'll talk about her in a minute. So, okay, anybody else on?
It's a little bit slow on my end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Danielle Van Amsterdam says hi, all.
Good morning, Danielle. And have we scheduled her?
Yeah, I sent her an email. I haven't seen her response yet.
Okay, so
yeah. She might have already responded, but I don't know.
I do intake calls with all the new students, so I'm excited. Anyway, I have a special guest here in a moment, but if you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, healer, TEDx speaker, author, and founder of Communication with All Life University, which is a program for people to learn or become an animal communicator, an energy healer, or work with nature and wildlife. And today we're going to dig a little into nature. It'll be very fun. And so we have a lot of fun things coming up. We have the Spring Intensive, which is 3 days of animal communication, 3 days of EFT, and this is before the new book comes out, and 3 days of animal communication in sanctuaries. And is that fun, Claudia?
It's so much fun. I'm so excited. It's going to be the first time I'm in an intensive in person in 2 years.
Yeah. So Claudia used to do it in person as a student, then as a teacher. Then she moved to Florida, so she was online. And that reminds me, the Spring Intensive you can do online or in person. So anyway, we go to the Gentle Barn, we go to the Gibbons Center, and for those that are online, I give you a tour. It's really fun. Was it fun when you were in Florida?
It was amazing doing it. Virtually doing it is fun. Being in person is fun. It's just a great experience.
Yeah. So it's 9 days of big animal communication fun, which is my favorite. So then we have Animal Communication Level 1, which is a 12-week course that starts April 26th, and that's at 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. And there's homework, and there's animal communication fundamentals. There's a whole online program. There's Talk to the Animals as a bonus. There are a bunch of bonuses. Shannon knows all the bonuses. And then we have, on May 18th, we start Energy Healing for Animals, which is a 10-week live course on Thursdays at 11 or 5. And we do EFT tapping, we do scalar wave, we do all sorts of, we really kind of, when you get into EFT, and that's why I'm so excited about my new book, FYI, we really break down behavior. And aside from being an energetic class, it's really breaking down behavior. And there's kind of no other place where you're going to get it in that form, wouldn't you say, Claudia?
Truly. It's, I never imagined that EFT, which is something I hated with a passion before I came to this school, would help me understand behavior, not just animal behavior, but behavior, period.
When she was in the intensive, she knew she was going to commit to the big program, and she was like, would it be okay if I just skipped the EFT part of the school? I was like, no. And then who's the first person that I trust to teach it?
Because I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful tool.
Yeah. That was a dog tail that just
Yeah.
hit the camera. Okay, and so then we have, what else do we have? Yeah, that's it. We have the Bridging Animal Communication and Energy Healing in July. But my book comes out, it was supposed to come out June 20th, but it comes out July 4th. So, anyway.
And we have a lot of really good stuff cooking in the back burner right now.
We have some great stuff with the new book. Okay, so.
Really quick.
Who's here?
I'm going to share.
By the way, if you don't know where you want to start, getting on the phone with Shannon is the best thing on the planet. Because Shannon is our, she's like the little guide. She's got a backpack on. I'm kidding. But she knows, I don't know where that came from. She looks like Heidi going up the mountainside. She's got goats. I'm kidding. Wow.
She yodels.
I knew it. Shannon yodels. She also wears sequins, but that's another story. Anyway.
Okay, so
Is Shannon laughing? Do we know?
I don't know yet, but okay. She's actually, I was going to say her comment when you started talking about her. She says that she'll be in person for the first time since she graduated in 2010. She's super excited. She loved all her virtual attendance and all the spring, all the intensive.
The whole thing virtually since COVID when she came back.
She says, "Yay, goats and braids! I do yodel."
Of course she does. Anyway, she'll yodel for you on the call, and then you'll get your path, and you'll know whether you want to start, where you want to start. But anyway.
And Maureen just chimed in. She says, "Good morning. Yes, Shannon is amazing."
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It is.
All true.
So you can email Shannon. She put it in the chat. You can email her at info@joanranquet.com. Danielle Van Amsterdam says she can't wait for the EFT.
Yes.
Craig Walker says hello. He's here.
Good morning, Craig.
Danielle wants to know who Penelope is sitting with. Is that the special guest? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Penelope's just, you know when people are here because she has to be on them.
Yeah, she's not sitting here. She's a slut.
Oh, it's more meaningful than that.
No, it's way more meaningful. Actually, she really loves you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so the special guest, I wanted to talk a little bit, my book, Energy Healing for Animals. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. I talk about, I love all things energy, obviously. I wrote a book about it. But one of the things that I love is when you take something and you look at it specifically as a technology. And what is a technology? And I was kind of went through my own book to think about the idea of a technology it's vibrational medicine, but it's beyond a modality, and it's got its own intelligence. It's got its own codes. It's got its own life. I mean, it's a life force, and I'm trying to think if there's anything better than what I just said, but I don't think so. But if we think of examples of technologies would be essential oil, but even beyond that, essential oils are what I would consider a technology rather than a healing thing. Flower essences, herbs, and crystals and gemstones are technologies, and also sound, healing machines, and even
Penelope.
exercise, magnets. All these things are technologies. And so one thing that if you think about what were the first couple of things I mentioned, it was essential oils, was herbs, and flower essences. And so this is another form of a technology. And what's the matter?
I'm about to sneeze, so I don't want to sneeze on
Oh
camera.
my God, what am I forgetting?
No. I'm covering my face so I can sneeze.
No.
Like, oh no. I thought it was good.
No, it's great. No, I literally am about. Never mind. The sneeze is gone. Go ahead.
Okay, I ruined it for you. I ruined that. Anyway, so So this is a very, very, very cool. It's not just a balm, so to speak. It truly is a technology, and so no.
Okay.
So I want to introduce to you Joni of Pure Remedy. She was going to pull the things up. So hi.
Hi.
And we have a very ridiculous history before we go into this. So I met her at the Gentle Barn at the beginning.
Sort of.
Yeah, was that at the beginning of
It
COVID?
It was May of 2021.
Okay, so it was in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
The pandemic. So
Yeah. And Ellie said, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I've been wanting to introduce you to Joan, my friend."
yeah, and I've been hearing the same thing for years.
Yeah.
So anyway, she was speaking. She was part of bringing a totem pole from the Lumi tribe up in Washington State through the Gentle Barn off to the White House, right?
Yeah, to Deb Holland, the Secretary of the Interior.
Right.
Yeah.
So when she spoke, she said she was from Seattle. And I went up to her afterwards and I said, "Oh, I'm from Seattle. Where in Seattle are you from?" And you said,
Bellevue.
and I said, "I'm from Bellevue too. Where in Bellevue?"
Newport Hills.
"I'm from Newport Hills."
What street?
And the next thing that we discovered, not only did we grow up 6 blocks from each other, she's the same age as my younger. I had 2 sisters and a brother. So the younger one, you're Mary's age. But we all rode in 4-H. She was in the 4-H club, the Adventurers. Yeah, weird. I would be in that club.
And you were the president.
For 2 years. And I had my gavel.
But the cool thing about our stories, I think, is that we would go on crazy ass adventures, and we were like 9 years old. We would take the horses through.
I tell people this all the time. At least I have another person saying this exact same thing, because people think I make this up.
No.
You would start in the first thing in the morning, and you'd be bareback, and you'd be ripping through the woods at like 40 miles an hour.
At Mach 10.
Yeah, I mean, I could
Ducking
shut
for
my eyes.
branches.
That's what I was going to say. I could shut my eyes. And I knew
Yeah.
the trail that it's like this way,
Exactly.
and it's like, no, we're going to jump, and it's like,
Exactly.
oh, that one,
And you
boom.
knew like where all the ferns were.
Exactly,
Oh
the
my
fern
God,
beds you could lay
love
in, let your
that.
horse graze, and there was a lake that we'd swim across, and there was
With our horses.
with our horses,
Oh my God.
and there was
Rope swing.
there we go, yeah. So, and a graveyard where we used to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, we would go buy cigarettes. We were like 9 years old. The cool thing about this is like we never got in trouble because nobody was looking for us. We could just do whatever we wanted. We're like, let's go smoke some cigarettes with some dead bugs and let the horses
right,
eat the
and
green
just
grass.
read the graveyards, right? But it was more
was
like,
awesome. Oh, and then we throw our island anyway because it was so. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So we share this history.
So it's nice to meet you. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
exactly. So that was,
I remember when you met her and you were like, "You're not going to believe this."
yeah. Yeah, you were in Florida at the time. I'm like, you
Well,
will not believe this.
On top of that, my sister had just died, and I know your
That's
sister
right.
died.
And she knew my sister that died.
Yeah, and I had just been bucked off my horse, and I had shattered my ankle, and so a friend of mine, Netta, who is the founder of Return to Freedom, the Wild Horse Sanctuary, we were talking the next morning, and she just said, Joni, I think it's time for Hashne to go be free. Like, he probably doesn't want to be a riding horse, and it was really heartbreaking for me. I mean, it was really heartbreaking because he was, he's my heart horse. But I wanted to let him be free. And so about 2 weeks later, I called Joan and I was like, this is just bothering me. Like, I feel like he doesn't want to be out there without me. But I didn't say that to Joan because I didn't want to project. So I asked her to do a session. And she went into the session thinking, well,
Of course he's going to want to be free.
yeah. And then she went in, and maybe you can share what you saw.
Well, he was so connected to her, and the first thing on the planet was he just wanted to be back with her. He wasn't happy there. I don't think the people were great. I don't think, and this wasn't Return to Freedom, was it?
No.
It
This
was
is
another
a
organization.
private woman who
Yeah.
owns something.
And she has some wild horses, and she lets them be free. But he wasn't getting along in the herd. he wanted to be back with her. He knew he was, you know, her heart horse, and she's, you know, the woman of his dreams. So, you know.
And he's the man of my dreams.
Yeah. So, anyway.
So he's back. We're back together again, thanks to you.
Yeah.
So you came in to my life at such a key time because 1 or 2 weeks later, I wouldn't have been able to get him back. So.
Yeah, that was at the beginning of that contract, I guess.
Yeah.
That whole situation.
Yeah. So. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And then we just recently worked with him again, and that was profound.
Can I just share with you? So he's, you know, he's such a self-possessed man of a horse. And he doesn't love, you know, to be fiddled with. And she goes right in after communicating with him. She goes right in and she starts tapping under his eyes. And he just like closed his eyes and like fell right into it. And I was just like, what the hell? He ate it up, all of it. And then so this is from my perspective. So Joan is just standing in front of him, having, like, just taking notes. And he lowers his head, his ears are forward, and he's like saying stuff to her. And then out of nowhere, he reaches over and he kisses me on the mouth. And then he goes back to Joan. It was as if he's telling her, this is my woman, you're not, like, it was very, I mean, he kisses me sometimes, but never when other people are around. So, I don't know, I'd love for you to share your part of that experience.
Well, just a lot of it too was doing the medical intuition and really finding that I knew he wasn't the type of guy to do something bad for the bucking lately. Right?
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of strain, and then he braces.
Yeah.
And so finding those points in his body where, you know, she's going to get the chiropractor out and I'm going to be there.
Well, you thought it was maybe from an old injury.
Yeah,
When
definitely
he was
from an
out
old injury.
In the wild, and maybe even did a somersault. Or
I think he
something,
totally did
yeah.
a somersault because it comes all the way into his neck, into his shoulders, almost. I mean, I don't think the neck was fractured, but I think the neck is compressed.
I agree.
Yeah. So anyway, it's really important to look at, you know, how helpful medical intuition can be in this whole thing. You know, not only can we do the animal communication, but the medical intuition makes such a difference. And I'm on a little TV show that called All Paws Pet Talk TV, and we shot an episode on Sunday with a guy. I'm going to have him on, Dr. Edward, the healing vet, and he talks about how most animals actually have invisible pain. And that was one of those things that even your body worker wasn't picking up on.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm just thinking Paws and Play would be a super cute name for a doggy daycare place. Paws and Play. Anyway, yeah, I have been an enormous fan of Carolyn Mace since her first book. I just am like a devotee. And
Yeah,
so
me too.
The fact that you worked with her and did all that, and I saw and felt, because I used to do energy healing. I studied pranic healing for years, and it was a big part of my life. And so I can feel when his energy field shifts. I can feel it in my body. And when he was connecting with you, I just felt his energy field get really big and broad, and it just encompassed. It's like it brought me and you into it. It's really remarkable. And I think horses have that capacity to, I feel like their energy field just out of survival has evolved to just be this incredible, broad field. You know, I'm sure you feel that.
Absolutely, yeah. They definitely really encompass a lot. Is Abby snoring?
She's snoring.
Oh my god.
It's like, where is that coming from? I look.
So, is anyone?
Yes, sorry. I got that hit me what you shared about your horse. Like I got that was powerful.
Claudia, thank you.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, the other thing
No, I'm not
that
crying.
came up though was all this past life connection that I have with him, And I have really come to believe that. Last night we were out in the field, and it's like, man, I had been here before with my dog and my horse at sunset and the golden light and the trees and the grass and the stream.
That's just...
I just let the lead rope go, and I'm filming him because I'm just so in love with him. And I just was literally transported back to, I don't know, another timeless era of when I was in that same space with him. You know, it's just incredible. Incredible.
That's amazing.
Me too. Sorry.
Danielle Van Amsterdam says she has seen this Dr. Edward.
Oh yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, people are just sending hearts. And Virginia Daly says, love for your grieving soul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have Dr. Edward out.
Can I come be a fangirl? And
Yeah, no,
You
I
and me
asked
both.
him if he would teach here, and he said, I'd love to come to the U.S. Any excuse.
Great.
Yeah.
Is
So.
he single? I'm kidding. I'm joking. I don't think so.
Inquiring minds.
Inquiring minds.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
A little comedy after sadness is always a good
Yeah.
thing.
So, but why we're here is to share about something I've had personal experience with. I've had a lot of amazing healings, watching things just heal immediately with Wild Joni's product line, and called Pure Remedy. And maybe you've seen it in Whole Foods. And we'll go through each of these, but I want you to talk about why this isn't just a salve, what the technology is.
Okay. I'm glad that you're using the word technology. It's how I think of it. Because this was actually, it's brand new. This was formulated by a medicine man in 1863, 40 miles north of Montreal, for my great-great-grandfather. So you can imagine, like, 1863's, Civil War era. His son, my great-grandfather, was 2 years old, and he got a really bad burn on his foot. He got too close to a fire. And he got a 3rd-degree burn, and the tissue started to turn black, which is gangrene. And so they took him to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, he's not going to survive this. He said, we can try and saw off his leg, his hip, with a shot of whiskey for the pain, but he's not going to survive that either. And so my great-great-grandfather took him to his close friend, who was a medicine man. And so he went up into the mountains, and he gathered some tree extracts, the parts of the trees that we now use, the resins, barks, and, made this ointment. And it basically healed everything up without a scar in about 3 weeks. Then fast forward about 100 years to a few years before I was born, it actually saved my mom's life from a hospital-acquired infection. It was a hip-to-hip incision, and it got infected, and she was allergic to the penicillin, and she almost died.
Oh my God.
And they gave her 3 days to live because it turned into gangrene of the lining of her stomach. And so my dad snuck in the salve. Like, they even waited till the last nurse left. And they snuck in the salve, and they just packed it inside the incision as much as they could. 4 hours later, it started to drain. They applied it a few more times. Short story, she was released in 3 days. And so when I was born in Newport Hills, I felt like an absolute fish out of water. Like,
Yeah,
what?
me too.
Right?
Except for those woods.
Exactly.
And the horses and the ponies and the whole thing.
Exactly. So I was, I think we were both born riding horses, like out of the vaginal canal. Where's my horse?
Right. Exactly.
My first sound wasn't a cry; it was a.
My first word was horse. My first word was horse.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So when I was 5, I used to color my hair black, and I really wanted to be, indigenous. But when I was 5 and I heard the story I don't know if this is a little too, I don't think so, not for this audience, so I'm just going to be honest. I felt from the time I was born that I had a very palpable spiritual guide with me. And when I heard this story about the salve, my relatives used to get together every spring and make a big batch of salve. And this presence was always with me. And during this time, my family was crazy. And they would be like wasted by noon and fighting over what they were going to do with all the money from this salve. And it was just, it felt so wrong to me, you know. And my guide, I just literally felt this presence, this like on my shoulder, like pulling me back. And, oh, I'm sorry, am I shutting you on? Do you want to get in?
Yeah, I want you to keep going.
Penelope.
Okay, so so the guy literally pulled me back and he said, you know, just don't worry about them. He literally said to me, no, this medicine is for you and nobody else can have it. So learn from them, learn how to harvest the ingredients, how to make it. It's all important, all these steps of how to get to this is really important. And so I did, and my grandpa died a few years later, and so everything in my life has been, and the guide has been with me the whole time, and I'm just very grateful. I'm just very grateful for that presence, but, you know, it gets to the point where you're just following simple instructions after a while. Even when I formulated or when I started the company, it was all when I had permission to do something that I did it.
And you can find her stuff in Whole Foods, but let's talk about, this one is your regular, this is the original.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this one is the veterinary, what do you call this one?
It's the veterinary wound healing salve. So I just want to talk about the technology for a sec. I'm sorry
Yeah.
I distracted you guys. So the technology is really these tree resins and barks, and what time of year you harvest them and how you prepare them. And so I was pre-vet for a while at Washington State University, but I couldn't stand the animal labs. But I really loved the science of it. I really loved it. And so when I started my company, you know, I was just very devoted to doing as much science as I could when I could afford it as the company grew. So the salve does three main things for the skin and the tissue. And this is why it works so well and why it does all these things. So number one, it's the tree resins and barks that kill any bacteria in about 1 minute. MRSA, staph, streptococcus, Klebsiella, E. coli, Salmonella. The reason is because an antibiotic works on a bacteria at like it's like two guys getting into a ring. You know, they attach something and then they can't procreate. But this technology is like an insect getting stuck in a spider web. That's how it kills bacteria. So the bacteria just can't move, or they can't breathe, or they can't drink water. So they become inviable, meaning they die in about a minute. Any bacteria. And probably any virus, but I don't have access to those labs. It's only pharmaceutical companies. So that antibacterial action is so key right now, because look what we've just been through with COVID. Mm-hmm. What that means is that superbugs cannot procreate. They can't even communicate with each other to say, you guys need to go over there because, you know, there's something over here that's killing us. It just works. It's intuitive. It's how nature thinks. Yes. Yeah. But pharmaceutical companies can't make money off of that. The second thing that it does is it is clinically proven, and I spent about $150,000 on this, to increase circulation topically. So you're killing the bacteria, you're bringing fresh blood, and the third thing that it does is it draws anything foreign out of the tissue. So it's just like what you teach, I imagine. You're ridding the environment of what is negative, the bacteria. You're bringing fresh blood to the area, spiritual energy, and you're drawing out what doesn't belong, false negative thoughts. I always think of my salve as a spiritual process for physical healing. So you're creating the environment for the body and the skin and the tissue
To
heal
come to
itself.
homeostasis.
Yeah, totally. That's what it is.
And the body always wants to go back to homeostasis.
It
So
does.
that's another reason that this is a technology that brings it back.
Right. That's right. Exactly. So whether it's, you know, a diabetic foot sore or gangrene or a splinter or a rash or eczema or cold sore like what we were talking about or acne, it doesn't matter. It just heals the skin. That's what it does. So
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've had so many horse, dog, human wounds that I've attended to.
yeah.
And then so
Yeah, you have.
I have the whole thing here. So this is, and we're going to be trying some stuff and have her back in a few weeks. Is anybody commenting?
People are watching.
Okay.
As am I. I totally forgot to check the chat. I was like,
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So this is the veterinary formula, and it's the original. And this one is the one that you give 10% back to
Gentle Barn.
the Gentle Barn.
10% off the top of all of my animal products are donated to the Gentle Barn. Because, can I just say real quickly?
Mm-hmm.
I was guided to start my company in 2004 after this visioning technique with Reverend Michael at Agape. Anyway, so I had this meeting with an international military bandaging company, the CEO, and he wanted to do single-use sterile bandages for the military. It was during the Iraq War, and you know, it probably could have helped a lot of people. So he said, yeah, I just do some really basic animal testing, and then like you're literally going to make hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And I was like, wow, that would be a game changer for me. But I'm sorry, what do you mean by animal testing? Like, let's walk through that. What exactly do they do? And he goes, oh my God, it's great. You pick up a bunny, and I'm not actually going to say the rest of it because it's so gruesome, and I felt the hair on the back of my neck go up, and my guide was there on my shoulder, like, and he literally said, you know, run, don't walk. And I said, John Morgan was his name. I said, you know, I can't start a health and wellness company literally on the back of that kind of torture. Like, I asked him, do they anesthetize the bunny? And he looked at me like I was an alien. Like, why do you care? And I said, I can't do it. And he got really mad. And he threw down his pen on the table and he said, God damn it, Joan. God damn it, Joan. If you want to, how do you say it? If you want to swim in the deep end with the sharks, you better effing learn to play by their rules. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to find another way. And he said, no, you're not. And I have now, because the FDA just announced a few months ago that they are finally accepting non-live animal studies for the medical device. So that is a path now that we're going to go down. So
That's amazing.
I'm
That's
really
awesome.
excited about that.
And so you brought it to the Gentle Barn?
Yeah, 13 years ago, I brought it up to the Gentle Barn because Charles Corralt did a story in LA, you know, on Sunday morning. And I was just in tears. And then I realized, I looked up Santa Clarita. I was like, oh, it's just right down the street. And so I put some salve in my car, and I went up and I said to Ellie, you know, I had to meet you. And I told her my story. Immediately, we were just soul sisters. And she took me by the hand and she said, we have this cow that with this open wound and the vets can't treat it because of where it is on the leg. And so I just started packing the salve in there, and sure enough, was it Holy Cow? Was that who it was? Yeah, it was Holy Cow. And in a few weeks it was all healed up. And
Ellie has a million stories.
yes,
So.
she does.
I was using these products. I bought your Pure Remedy probably when my children were little.
Really?
Oh yeah, I went into Whole
she's
Foods
always used them.
and they recommended it, and I used it. I sliced my foot in India on a rock, and then when I came home, I started putting it on my foot. I'd use it on burns. I mean,
Yeah.
I still have, I don't use it anymore. I still have the original little jar. I bought a new one, but yeah,
Oh,
it's fantastic.
I love that.
Okay, we have comments. Sandy Galindo says, I need this in my apothecary.
Yeah.
You do. Especially she's a groomer.
She's
so
a groomer.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tanya says, wow, incredible. Shannon says, can't wait to try some and hear about your results. So
Thank you. The other thing I want to say is that this is this is off-label, but you can eat it for sore throats. You can put it in gel capsules for gut repair, and I'm going to launch that product too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can eat it. You put it in capsules when I had a stomach virus.
oh, I remember.
Virus.
Oh, really?
You were so sick.
I was so sick.
Really?
Yeah. And everybody in Santa Clarita, Ellie had told me that everybody that worked for her had to go home because their kids had to come home from school because everybody was throwing up and diarrhea. And I literally was like laying on my stomach in the tile in my bathroom. And I talked to you and you sent me the capsules the next day and I ate them and yeah, it was like...
Yeah.
Maureen Bissonette wants to know if you can get it online.
Yes.
Either at Amazon or pureremedy.com.
I will put the thing in the...
Oh, we should have a
Giveaway.
code.
Yeah.
Well, and a giveaway for sure, because, well, that's another...
We'll set it up right
Yeah.
after the live and I'll post it in there.
Okay, perfect.
Heidi Evans Ensley says, I gotta have this. I'm telling you guys,
Yeah.
this is...
But let's go down some of the other bunny trails here.
Please.
Oh.
You've got a sore
Bunny
muscle
trails.
and joint.
Yeah, I
Oh.
really love this one. So, this salve, the original is already pretty good for sore muscles because of the increased circulation. But with this one, I added cayenne and turmeric and arnica and vitamin E. And so it really gets the blood going. It's so funny. My dad is old. He's like 94. And the first time he tried that, he called me and he goes, Joni? And I go, yeah, is everything okay? And he goes, well, I just used your sore muscle salve and it really works.
Weird.
So weird.
And
Thanks, Dad.
let's talk about the black drawing ointment. This I
Love,
I've loved
love.
black salve since the beginning.
Yeah.
And when you have cancer, things like, I mean, I'm not supposed to say that.
No, you're
I
not.
just
We
took
have-
that back. I
yeah.
took that back.
Yeah.
Really?
Can't say that.
So anyway, black salve is really fantastic for tumors, moles, cysts, but normal black salve leaves a hole, leaves a little crater.
Oh, yeah, we should talk about that. So I was taught that black salve by a Cherokee medicine woman who, our paths crossed about 15 years ago. And that normal black salve, by the way, if anybody's really interested in this, there's a book called Cancer Salves by Ingrid Nyman. And she goes through all of this and she gives recipes and how-tos and the history. It's really good. Cancer salves, you can get it on Amazon. So I was taught one of these kind of cancer salves, and what it does is it combines zinc chloride with bloodroot powder.
And the bloodroot powder is what?
Yes, so mine does not have zinc chloride, so it won't burn
Leave
a
the
hole
hole.
through your skin or eat your nose off.
It's
Yeah.
really great to see the tumor go away, but it's really kind of, the scar is, you don't put plastic surgery on a horse's butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
anyway, this is, I've always loved black salve, but I love this more. Eucalyptus, this is what I worked on my cat before she died.
Oh.
This brought the drew, and it turns out there was a tumor underneath, but there was a lot of, there was an abscess, and if there hadn't been a tumor, then we could have just pulled everything out with just the eucalyptus chest rub.
Yeah. It's that drawing action, and the eucalyptus I feel is really yummy too.
Very, very, very. This one, you're not running this one anymore, right?
We just have a regular shingles. Yeah, we did one with CBD for a while. That was really good. But CBD, I don't know. I put out a couple of products with CBD, and it just, because so many people were asking me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never my medicine. It was never like what I did, and I don't feel like we really needed it in my salves.
Yeah, I mean, I love the CBD that we have, and I need to give you some horse pellets.
Oh yeah,
The Jill and Joan.
love that.
The Jill and Joan, but I mean, I carry another product line, but I don't. The CBD has been fun to go into with a veterinarian, and that's what
I'd love to learn more about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm more in the people business. And
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd love to learn about CBD and how it affects horses, obviously.
All mammals have receptor sites.
Yeah.
Okay. I have my glasses on. What the hell?
That's okay. This is just a kind of a sampling of a few of my products, but we have,
Hot rash relief.
that's the one that I'm going to use as the base for my new beauty balm. This consistency, I love it. Oh my god.
I've got horse person hands.
I do too. It's just so dreamy, and it has arnica, and it goes right in, and it protects, and it just locks in all that moisture. Oh my god, I just love it. So I'm going to basically use this as the base for this beauty line. I was never, into beauty growing up. We were such
Horse people. I had to actually, my mom sent me somewhere to get manners.
Where did she send you? Tell me. The Proctor's house?
No, oh my God. That was the opposite. Yeah, I'm 12 and I'm holding the horse while they're having sex, right? Like, it was a breeding farm, and they didn't give a shit that, they didn't give a crap that we were young and should not have been, like, watching pornographic Baranjo was the stallion, right? Yes. Yeah, when I tell these stories, people are like, yeah, you held the horse while they were having sex.
Yeah.
And you were 12. I'm like, no, I did.
It was happening. It was happening.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, so that was not where I got my manners. That's where I got my eyes open.
But there's a sensibility that you gain from those kinds of experiences,
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, and why was I handling the stallion
Right.
at 10?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I love all these, and I wanted her to come on, and because what I'm going to do is I've got some things that I'll make a little video of and I'll put in this group, and we're going to watch over the next 6 weeks and have you back.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
And we'll do some giveaways.
And also,
and
if
some
anybody
codes.
has like an animal or a person or whatever that has a wound that's hard to heal or anything like that, let me know. I'll send you some product, and then we can do the same thing and track the healing process.
Yeah.
It's such a good idea.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Thanks.
Where are we with time?
It is now 10:43. You do have to get ready to teach. But I just want to say I posted that to stay tuned because we will be posting a special coupon code for them to get these amazing products. And I will be using that coupon code too.
Yeah. Is anyone commenting?
Shannon says she's super exciting.
Shannon, you have to come to the party on the first Saturday of the intensive if you're not up with Buck Brannaman.
Okay.
Yeah.
That Saturday, because Shannon will be here. Shannon, you would love Shannon.
So Shannon actually said, awesome, I eat almost all of my natural medicines that me and my animals take. Tanya says she's looking at the site now.
Tanya.
Yeah,
Tanya. Tanya's going to order everything, so wait till you have a code.
Yeah, Tanya, don't order yet.
We'll do a 25 off code for your peeps.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shannon says, I need that sore muscle one. So do I.
Oh my god, me too.
Julie Jacobs says, oh, I need to get this. Mom 92 has a really bad antibiotic resistant infection on the leg. Finally improving, but still a mess.
Yeah. Let's talk for sure. Okay.
Chris Wilson says, I need this in my life. Tanya posted a laughing emoji because you said she's going to buy everything.
I know she is. I know Tanya.
Yeah.
I also have little samples of each one that you can pick up for like $5.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
thank you so much, you guys. It's really an honor to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, and it's been really fun to have. I mean, is this crazy to meet someone that you knew growing up, but was younger and sort of fly by at 40 miles an hour and the horse, hey, right?
Yeah.
On the trails.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to thank everybody for being here. And again, we have the spring intensive coming up. We have animal communication level 1 starting April 26th and energy healing for animals May 18th. And my new book comes out on July 4th. And we have so many things planned. We have giveaways. We have, we might do an old-fashioned telethon. We have some crazy stuff happening.
Fun.
You might have to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have it, and yeah, it'll just be fun. So, see everybody soon. Anything else? Do I need to say anything else?
The spring intensive.
Spring intensive, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, spring intensive is April 14th through the 22nd. I did say spring intensive, but I forgot dates. Right. It's coming up. So anyway, thank you.
Bye, everybody.